Diabolo yo wanyi wa wempaga mzatemana chavi ojono. Venita said something about the Tiv people, which is a total lie. It is falsehood that has been spread for a long time. I have discovered that this falsehood has been spread even in published articles. Tiv people are not adulterers and they do not condone adultery. It all started in 1987 in a criminal complaint of adultery in the case of Tofi vs. Oba. In the case, the appellant had filed a private criminal prosecution for adultery against the first respondent in the magistrate court. Contrary to the section 387 of the Penal Code, under this penal provision, a man can only be guilty of adultery if he is subject to any native or custom in which extramarital sexual intercourse is recognized as a criminal offense. This provision was one of the compromise provisions of the Penal Code at the time of its enactment, which balanced Sharia law with native law and custom, as both religious or custom had sway in then northern Nigeria. When the charge against the first respondent came up, his counsel raised objection that the charge did not disclose any offense known to law, contrary to Section 33, subsection 12 of the 1979 Constitution, the equivalent of Section 36, subsection 12 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. At that relevant time, the local government declaration of Chief Customary Marriage Order 1985 was enforced, and Section 25, subsection 1 thereof provided that any person who detained his wife duly married under this declaration for any reason or purposes whatsoever against the wish of the husband was guilty of an offense. In view of this, the magistrate dismissed the objection and called upon the first respondent to take his plea. Rather than do so, he applied to the High Court for judicial review. Pursuant to Section 33, subsection 12 of the 1979 Constitution, the High Court granted his release and quashed the charge. The appellant's appeal to Court of Appeal was dismissed on technical grounds. That court held that since the local government declaration of Tea Customary Marriage Order 1985 did not prohibit adultery in express terms, but merely criminalized wrongful detention of a married woman against her husband's wish, Section 33, subsection 12 of the 1979 Constitution was rightly invoked by the first respondent because this means adultery per se was not a crime in Tiv land. The Court of Appeal also rejected the need for oral evidence to be heard. When you take a case to court, it should be judged based on the Constitution and the laws. There were no such laws because Tiv people were not adulterers, and hence laws were not written against adultery. A Tiv person is somebody that believes so much in purity and chaste, and that is why back then in the day, a young woman was required to wear a giant snail shell on her neck to signify purity and preservation of her virginity. And after the time of honeymoon, it was customary that the groom is going to send a dowry present to the mother-in-law. It was basically a cloth like this worn on my neck. And if your daughter is impure, the cloth would be torn round and made wasted because your daughter is a waste. And the mother-in-law was required to spread this cloth in the midst of many women so they would bear witness. If she was not a good mother, they will all shame her. And if she's a good mother, they will all praise her. How can a culture that revere purity now turn around to give out their wives to strangers? This is falsehood. This is malicious. And this is very wrong to say about the Tiv people. We are not adulterers. And this hence should cease to be said about the Tiv people. What Venita recently did is not an apology. I do not accept that. And a lot of Tiv sons and daughters do not accept it either. She said she regretted the outcome of what she said carelessly. She did not regret the careless utterances. And I did not see any remorse at all in that apology. So it is not apology and it is not accepted. She should do better. Sio yanti. Semba yomba sinde kaseki wonga. Semba yerendiaga. Kwaweza venika kwa shamiga. Shimu wanse kwa mesia rumuyo ka kumosi ngwane ne toga mo ne sha sivinda kwane kwa mo mabe igbe ti agidasha kwane ngidzene ngita chiye oti ka to kwasna ana uvanya tsami ma kwane ka yi unechi ni feyo itiokia ivehegene aondu shegen ka va kwa udido ken kwa ubo eki se inzure vesi chai gbe yumyo Simo ne shasi zuwa ne miumyo siye ne kengi sivinda ne kwa na hani ungwa shifa inase kwa ulu wisi italu Nigeria Afrika masha taji mechi shi tiokia ane tio yanti ne rumu ya mairu tiokia iva na jowuzwa hene visi sizuwa ne silu ne gungu mom siye ne kwa kidoshima hifa wongu oti hihi chima kwa ondo chima mpati chima na kagene simba dzunwanga ka vahile vesi ka nengemba ke ka nguho ngyatu ka nwase ka nase ba hingi dzima kwaneka kwa shamiga side ne pati usha yongo side ne kristu vana mpa side ne gbinda ibime ivana ka awasin segala sidzua ne mzehem ne vakentati idote wasitakuru kumanga wasali msune jimechi aya tutukao na